Zero live. Oh look, yes, I got my haircut. People are asking, did you get a haircut? Yes, I got a haircut. See, it's a little thinner, a little shorter. Mustache is trimmed up. Yes, I got a haircut last Saturday. Almost been a week now, huh? And then waiting for people to come on board. We don't see anything yet. But it says I'm live, so I'm hoping I'm live. We'll see if anybody comes on here. Do 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 do. Richard Fox is live now. Oh, we got one viewer, one reaction. Sharon McCoy, here I am. Yes, number one fan. How are you? So yeah, I got a haircut. The I went in to Escondido and picked out some paint for my motorhome. I think I get the color I want. Just for the lower section, I had a little mishap in Canada and had to have a little work done on it. And now that it's getting warm, they'll paint it because they didn't want to paint it in the cold, wet. And now I got three people. Bonnie, hello. Sarah, hello. Let's see. And I got Joyce. Hello, Joyce. How are you? So on the way home from Escondido, I was passing through San Marcos, and my sister Nancy calls me, and she says, "Emma's taking Linda to the emergency room." I go, "What? What happened?" Because I knew she was working today. And she says she cut her fingers with the she cut her fingers almost off with the skill saw. I go, "Oh my God." She says, "Yeah." I said, "Well, is she going to Tri-City or where?" And she goes, "No." She was afraid that Tri-City would want to take her fingers all the way off, so they decided to go to Kaiser, where she thinks they'll reattach her fingers. I'm like, "Oh my God, this must be ugly." I said, "Well, I'm like just a couple blocks from Kaiser Hospital. I'll go by there." So I went by there, and I got there before they did, and I got in the emergency room line. And when they got there, they got in line with me. But Linda had her hand clenched, and I said, "Can you move your fingers?" She goes, can move these three, but not the pinky." I go, "Okay." And I said, "That's good. You can move those." And they were not hanging off. Man, the stories it was like, oh my God. And then so she got to see the doctor, and that they were going to take some X-rays, and they're going to call a emergency person. But her she's cut here. It looks like it missed this one, and this pinky is sliced right, probably almost halfway through right there. And so I don't know. These fingers, I'm sure, will heal, no problem. They just look like they're cut a little bit, but the pinky has a big old notch right there at that knuckle, and I don't know. I don't know if they can save it or what, or if they'll just cut it off short. But it's a whole lot better than what I expected. So it was kind of ugly to see. Thank you for the prayers. Yes. So that was the highlight of today. Hey, Patricia. So other than that, I had a couple more monarchs hatch in my backyard. That was cool. And let's see what else has been going on. Last Saturday, I went to a birthday party in Van Nuys. It was really great. It was an all-out party. I mean, catered and and everything, drinks and catered, and wow, it was fun. Nancy, hopefully the tendons get stitched and heals well. Yes, Nancy. Yes, that's our prayers right now, that can get stitched and it heals well, and that she can use it. So I don't know what they decided. I didn't spend the rest of my day there at the hospital. Emma was there with her, so and she's doing fine. So I'm sure the doctor's seen her by now, and they're getting her taken care of. So, all right, okay. Well, I got the book. Time for the book. So, I started this Friday Night Live like probably 12 years ago, and it was just interviewing my parents and chatting with them, asking them questions, and then my dad passed away, and then it was just me and my mom, and then doing Friday Night Live, and then when she passed away, she and my dad both have written books. My mom had a book about this thick, and we read that online. My dad had a book about this thick, and we're reading it, and we're a little bit halfway through it, I think. So that's what we're doing, and that's what I do here Friday nights at 6:15. Just about every Friday, I really try to make it. So here we go. We put our things in Dr. Joyce's car, went back to AIEH and got a lot of medicines, and picked up Diane and headed for Subriana. I drove from Santa Rita to Subriana, where we arrived about 12:30. Friday, November 19th, soon after breakfast, we got on the bus that took us to Morazan, where we changed buses, etc. We arrived at Dr. Andina's office at 11:20. He removed my stitches. The pathologist's report was a non-malignant keratosis. On the 20th, we did shopping and visited with the various people. And on the 21st, returned to Subriana by bus. A ways east of Santa Rita, police stopped the bus and took 4 people and 2 bicyclists off. We didn't find out why. Thursday, November 25th, Thanksgiving Day in the U.S., Maddie Miranda Vargas arrived by truck at 6:30 from La Sierra. She was in labor, and at 7 she delivered a 7.2 pound fine baby girl as she was on her knees on the floor and her arms on the bed. She didn't need any stitches. For Thanksgiving dinner, we had chicken and vegetable soup with malanga, yucca, potatoes, tomatoes, carrots, and green beans. The next morning, the new mother and Marcus ate breakfast with us before the mother and baby went home. Mortiza said that she had picked 3 and 3/4 gallons of coffee the day before. Oh, so she was picking coffee the day before she had her baby. Okay. Sunday the 28th was election day in Honduras to elect a president and 3 vice presidents. People in our area had to go to Ural to vote. Maritza told us that the owner of the local buses would only let nationalists on the buses going to Ural. However, there were numerous trucks going to Ural, some taking liberalists and others nationalists. It drizzled most of the day. The next day, about 11:30, several trucks loaded with people holding liberalist banners drove about town shouting that Renina had won the presidency. Let's see, is there any more comments I need to see or anything? No? Okay. Wednesday, the 8th of December, we went to San Pedro Sula by buses and took a taxi to AIEH. That afternoon, the papers for the Subaru came, and we were able to take it. We checked into Hotel Executive, but Executive O, it's got an O on it. By 4, we were at the airport to meet Robbie Doherty from Norway. Maine. Norway, Maine? Okay. She got out of customs at 5:30. We took her to AIH where she had arranged for a room. Daniel Romero said that we could get all of us on the bus at AIH at 9 in the morning to go to a Christmas party at Pinalejo. Then we went to the hotel and learned that the second floor had been flooded by a break in the pipes, but had all been cleaned up. The 9th of December, we were up at 6, had breakfast in the hotel, and water came on while we were there. We were at AIH by 8:30 and talked with Linda by phone at 9. At 9:30, the bus was started and promptly was stuck in the mud. Finally, at 10:15, it was decided that all of us would go to Pinalejo in cars. We finally got to Pinalejo at noon. There we went into the church auditorium where we had prayers and gift exchanges. Then we went next door to Dr. Espana's house where we had a huge dinner. We left Pinalejo at 4, arrived at SPS at 5:15, dropped off Lojito at the cathedral to catch the bus to El Progreso, then spent the next 2 hours driving on muddy roads to take Max and Betty to Puerto Cortez. Checking, see if there's comments again yet. Well, Bonnie, happy Friday. Richard, Martin, hope gets better. Yes, thank you, Martin. Good to see you on here, Martin. On Friday the 10th, Betty got a permanent. We got it, and I got a haircut. That evening, there was still no running water in the hotel, and we wanted to bathe because we were hot, sticky, and sweaty. I thought up here it said that water came back on. I don't know. They brought up 10 gallons of cold water, and we took baths in the shower. We felt better. The next morning, there was hot running water, and we enjoyed warm showers. At 8, they were loading the car. Max showed up. Then went to the Impala bus station where we picked up Betty, Paola, and Daniel. Then we drove to El Progreso to meet Lajito. He came an hour later by taxi from who knows where. We arrived in Suburana at 12:05. The evening of the 23rd of December from 7 o'clock to 8:45, we had a Christmas party in our kitchen and dining area. Christmas Eve, starting at 8, they had nearly 3-hour program with skits and etc. at the church. I videotaped a lot of it. He probably videotaped almost 3 hours of it. He videotapes a lot. And, you know, all that stuff's in my spare bedroom right now. One of these days, we really need to go through that and see if we want what we want to save of it, but whatever. Max arrived at about 6 p.m. and reported that the Subaru was in a shop in Puerto Cortez with a broken clutch cable that should be replaced on Monday the 27th. That night it was colder than usual, and for the first time we used 2 blankets on our bed. December 31st, 1993 was a slow day for the clinic. Betty made cookies. About 6:15, Robbie arrived with Dr. Joyce and Jamie. Robbie gave us a beautiful Guatemala bedspread. At 9 p.m., we went to the church. There was a lot of singing and testimonies about things that had happened during the year. At midnight, there was a flurry of fireworks. Meat was being cooked for a big dinner. It's supposed to start about 1 a.m., but wasn't ready until 2. I didn't particularly like the smell of the meat cooking, so I went to bed. Dr. Joyce, Robbie, Betty went to Elsie's about 1 and had tamales. That concluded the third of our 6 months in Honduras, rewritten on September 29, 2005. Chapter 18, Honduras. Our 4th 6 months. At 4:45 a.m., New Year's Day, 1994, we were awakened by the sounds of carols being sung near our bedroom window. All right. Well, at 6:30, I'll mark it right there for next time, and we'll start there. Chapter 18. All right, everybody. Hey, God blessing. Thank you. Happy Memorial Day. You too, Sharon. Thanks for being here. See if I got all the comments. I think so. All right. Thank you, everybody. Love you guys all. Thanks for being here. And I'll be around next Friday. Happy Friday.